All YMCA memberships are a 12-month commitment. The Y for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome into the WTIM information station. My name is Tim Zalabak. Time now for the WTIM morning show. Thank you so much to our live stream sponsors, Landmark of Taylorville and People's Bank and Trust. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook TV. You're going to want to tune into this one because I got Lisa Peterson in the studio with me right now. She's with the University of Illinois Extension as a nutrition and wellness educator. How are you today, Ms. Peterson?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being in the studio with us. It's a long introduction right
yes.
there. It's a big month over there. And what is it?
Yes.
Are celebrating something.
Yes, we are. And I love it. Actually, in September, it is National Food Safety Education Month. So for those who know me, I am big on food safety. It's one of my favorite topics to cover because it's a lot of things people don't think about and things that come up. So some of those common myths we often see, and I love debunking them. It's one of my favorite things to do in my job is giving people the right information to make their own decisions on things. So yeah, that's a big part of my job.
I'm sure. So let's do some myth busting today. I'd love to hear some of the things because I ask these questions to myself. Is this okay to eat? Am I doing this right? I'd love to get into it today. So what do you hear most times? What are we seeing?
So one of the big ones is that the myth is the last meal I ate is the one that made me sick. And that is a big myth when we talk about foodborne illness, because a lot of times it's not the last thing you eat. Foodborne illness can actually hit either a couple hours after you eat it or a couple weeks after you eat it. So it depends on what type of bacteria it is, but it can take, again, weeks, or I think one of them takes almost 60 days before it actually makes you sick. So that's where, again, that hand washing, checking temperatures, not leaving food out at room temperature too long is really important, because that stuff that's going to make you sick, again, it may hit you in a few hours. You're like, oh, it was a restaurant I went to an hour ago. It wasn't necessarily that. It might have been the food you ate last night. So that's one thing is that first, and if you do suspect you have had foodborne illness, definitely contact the health department because a lot of these go unreported. So that's a big thing too.
That makes a lot of sense there. And you've heard it so many times, oh, it had to have been the chicken parmesan I had, or something like that. But that's everyone's first thought. So that's a really, really cool myth to bust there. And also this really feeds into the fact that a lot of these go, uncovered because people don't exactly know where they got it from. So that's like a tracing process to try to get back where that went.
Yep. And the Centers of Disease Control actually find each year about 1 in 6 Americans get sick from some type of contaminated food or beverage, and about 3,000 people die every year from foodborne illness. And most of them are preventable. So it's knowing how to do that. How do we prevent that from happening?
Is that a lot? So a lot of times, if you're saying it can be prevented a lot of times it's coming from home foods and not from restaurants.
Yeah, and that's it too. I'm like, that proper hand washing is always a big thing. I mean, we talk about that 90%. There was a study done not too long ago. Do not wash hands properly before they prepare food. So again, it's that 20 seconds of hand washing, making sure you scrub your hands. Hand sanitizer should not replace hand washing. So you got to get all that bacteria off, and that scrubbing is a big part of that too. So hand washing and checking temperatures. One of our biggest issues with foodborne illness is something we call temperature abuse. Okay. So it's one of the myths is we talk about cooking beef or cooking chicken and basing it on color. And that is not a safe practice. We want to make sure you're using a thermometer and if you need one, call our office. I will happily give you one and show you how to use it.
Perfect.
But making sure we are checking temperature. Chicken, you cook to 165. You can always call our office. I'm happy to walk you through the steps, but color is not an indicator of safety.
Okay. Yeah. That's a big thing to remember because, at first glance, you'd be like, oh, this looks great. Cut into it. It's pink on the inside. What about before it's cooked? How can I know if my chicken is still okay to eat? Because I know at a glance there, it might look bad. Maybe smell.
And that's a good point because that's another big myth we tend to bust here is that can I look at it and know it's safe or not safe to eat? And that is not true. Foodborne illness, most of them, you can't see, smell, or taste. So you'd never know they were in the food. So how do we do it? We know based on how many days we've had it in the refrigerator. So generally we say up to 3 to 4 days with chicken. 3 is kind of a big max there. But there's something called from the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, they produce something called the Food Keeper app. And that's actually, it's a phone app, and it's something I recommend to almost everybody when we talk about storage because it's great. They update it regularly. And you can actually save things to your calendar too on there, which is kind of cool. So you buy chicken and you throw it on your calendar to throw it out 3 days later. And you get a reminder. Don't forget to throw out chicken.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. Yeah. Like a calendar and that keeps your food.
Yes. Yep. And it's a free app. So the USDA, we know it's coming from a credible, safe source.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. All right. So that's the first myth busted right there about the foodborne illnesses. That sounds really great. Really good things to mention there. And what's our next myth?
Yeah. So one of the myths is you shouldn't put hot food in the refrigerator. So this is something that comes up every once in a while. We talk about it with leftovers. I can't put it in there because it's going to make everything in my fridge warm. That's not true. A fridge is designed to, when something's put in there, it's going to kick on. It's going to sense it and kick it on. The problem we have is people tend to put large amounts of food. So those big containers like soup, they fill it with hot soup and then put it in the fridge. And the problem is the center doesn't get cold enough fast enough. So we want to make sure we put them in shallow dishes. Typically, we say no more than about 2 to 3 inches deep. And then, or you could always put ice around it too and cool it down that way. But that center isn't getting cold enough fast enough. And that's an easy way to get sick.
Wow.
But you can put hot food in the fridge. You just want to put it in a shallow container.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah.
If you get done, you have leftovers, you want to throw that right in the fridge. But I often keep it out on the countertop to let it kind of let it just steam off. Is that kind of something that you would?
We really don't want you to do it just because we don't want to leave food at room temperature. Right. So that chance of bacteria growing, definitely if it hits 2 hours, you throw it out. So we don't want anything left. If it's perishable food, something you put in the fridge or something you cook, make sure you do store it in the refrigerator because leaving it out at room temperature is at risk of bacteria growing. And again, you can't see, smell, or taste it. So you'd have no idea it's in there. And that's how people don't realize, I got the stomach flu 2 weeks later. That was from that food that you ate that you let sit out at room temperature.
What a devious little illness this is. You can't smell, taste, or see it. I mean, it's just
those harmful pathogens.
You can only be preventative of it. You can only be proactive.
Yep, and that's the hard part is people, if they can't see it, that's same with bread. You have green bread in the middle. You eat it, you get scared. You're like, oh, I'm going to get sick. Probably not. That's spoilage bacteria. That's like milk. You drink milk in the fridge that's gone bad, you spit it out. You're probably not going to get sick from it.
Yeah. So, with that one right there, do you find a lot of these foodborne illnesses come out from people improper storage?
A lot of it has to do with not reheating food properly. Because anything we put in the refrigerator to reheat, and you want to go to 165, and a lot of people don't do that. They just throw in the microwave, and when it's hot, they call it good. But you do want to have a thermometer. I found some thermometers actually stick like magnets on the back. Those are great because you can put them right on your fridge and you won't lose it. But yeah, having that thermometer near you in your kitchen, have it within eyesight, you'll make sure you'll use it that way.
Awesome. All right. Making sure that our food is the proper temperature before you eat it. That's a big one.
Yes.
Let's hit another myth right here.
Yeah. So one of them is that freezing food kills harmful bacteria that causes foodborne illness. So when we freeze food, some bacteria can still survive the freezing temperatures. Freezing isn't a method for making food safe to eat. When food is thawed, bacteria will still be present and will again multiplying. When you freeze something, basically what you're doing is you're putting that bacteria in the point where it's not moving. Or it's moving at such a glacial pace that it's not a big concern there. Yeah.
This is one of these interviews where I'm learning things right now, and it's making me rethink my past because I thought the freezer was the cheat code to everlasting food. There, that you have to.
Technically, once it's in the freezer and it's there, it's going to be safe as long as it stays in that freezer. But if you put it, say you leave chicken out for 4 hours, throwing it in your freezer isn't going to kill that bacteria at that point.
What about chicken that sat in your fridge for maybe a day or two? And you realize you're not going to eat it. Can you throw that in the freezer?
Yep, because you're still at the same temperatures. If it's been more than like 3 or 4 days, then I would have to throw it out. Yeah. But yeah, if it's been there a couple days, you're like, I'm not going to eat this. Put it in your freezer because then it's good for like 2 to 3 months. When we say with freezing, it's for best quality.
Okay.
So, because I've had people call me and like, I've got chicken in the back of my fridge. It's been there for like a year. Can I still eat it? Yes, you can. It's still safe, but quality might be a little questionable.
Sure. Yeah. All right, we're learning the real things today, so this is really important.
Yeah.
Ms. Peterson, we have time for one more myth here. If you got one more cool one to share.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, this one's good. If you drop food on the floor and pick it up within 5 seconds, it's safe to eat?
5-second rule. Yes.
Yes, that is definitely a myth. That the minute it touches the floor, that's when that bacteria hits it. So unfortunately, if you drop something, you should throw it out. Again, we say this because I know a lot of people don't. They just eat it. But just know if you do get sick, that could be why. But ideally, you drop something, you pick it. Even washing it's not going to help, especially with the meat or something. You're spreading bacteria. So yeah, definitely that 5-second rule is definitely not true. The minute it touches that floor, it's hit other bacteria. So you should get rid of it. Again, we're here more for precaution. So if
Sure.
you do get sick, you know why.
So you're telling me there's no starting line for the bacteria and there's a countdown from 5 once that food's gone. That's not happening.
Yep, nope.
As soon as that food hits the ground, throw it away. Yeah.
Yes.
I get it. All right. That's a big one right there. I love it. I was thinking about all the different myths and the 5-second rule. Totally not one that kind of stuck with me there. So that's really awesome. Miss Peterson, we're going to take our first short little break here,
Perfect.
but we appreciate you for busting some myths here for us. And maybe we'll have time for a couple more myths and we're going to talk about some cool events coming up here with the University of Illinois Extension. This is Lisa Peterson right now with me with the University of Illinois Extension nutrition and wellness educator. That's what she does. And she's educating us today. We'll be right back here on the WTIM Morning Show.
Your information station, WTIM.
I'm Will Perkins, President and CEO of the Taylorville Community Credit Union. TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight, allowing a different nonprofit organization to be highlighted on WTIM, WMKR, and WRAN each month.
Taylorville Terrace is an intermediate care home that accommodates up to 16 individuals ranging from 18 years old and up with developmental disabilities. Our team understands that everyone has a unique story, and this is what shapes our priorities. We focus on the positive attributes that each person has and turn limitations and challenges into strengths. We provide opportunities and resources that focus on supporting an environment that fosters community presence, choice, and respect. Visit www.phidd.org for more information.
This is Cammie Payne, General Manager of the Miller Media Group. We, along with TCCU, are proud to bring you the Community Spotlight each month.
TCCU is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group Community Spotlight. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
Work hard, sleep well with Bemco and Just Beds. You work hard, your stress is high. You need the best night's sleep possible. That's just what you'll get at Just Beds. All this month, save on Bemco mattresses. Twin mattresses $149, queen mattresses just $229. Just Beds features Bemco's Arctic Breeze, Max Life, and the all-new Arctic Life mattresses. As always, free delivery, setup, and removal. Work hard, sleep well. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds.
Hello, Panther fans. This is the voice of the Eastern Illinois University Panthers, Mike Brad, inviting all of our fans in Taylorville, Shelbyville, Effingham, and Eastern Illinois to listen for Panther football on your information station, WTIM, on its many platforms on AM, FM, and online. Hear the Panthers as they compete in the Ohio Valley Conference. Follow the Panthers this season on your information station, WTIM, on AM, FM, and online.
Chip Flory here, inviting you to join the conversation as we tackle the current issues of agriculture every weekday morning at 10:06 on the Talk of Central Illinois, News Talk WTIM. I host AgriTalk, the nation's longest-running interview show dedicated to discussing agriculture issues with the newsmakers and include you in the conversation via our toll-free number. We're here weekdays mornings at 10:06. We are AgriTalk.
Making radio and our digital platforms work for my clients is fun. I'm Teresa Nelson, an account manager with the Miller Media Group. With nearly 30 years of media experience, I've made advertising media sales a great career. We have an opportunity for one person to join us. If you think you have what it takes to be successful in a fast-paced business and enjoy challenges, you might be the person we're looking for. One thing's for sure, there is never a dull moment in a radio station. Send us your resume for a first interview to sales@randyradio.com. We're an equal opportunity employer.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. My name is Tim Zalabak. We are here with Lisa Peterson of the University of Extension Nutrition and Wellness. She's the Nutrition and Wellness Educator. We are busting some myths here on the WTIM Information Station. Ms. Peterson, thank you so much for being in here with us today. Yeah, and we got one more big myth to bust before we move on here. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so this is one that comes into our office kind of frequently. It's that local, organic, and natural. As long as it's local, organic, or natural, we know it's safe to eat. We don't have to worry about washing hands. We don't have to worry about checking temperature. And that is definitely not true. So when we talk about organic, one thing that I tell people is when you look at the research, nutritionally, organic food is not necessarily better for you. It has the same amount of nutrients when we compare them. People who do choose to eat organic, a lot of times you're looking at more of the environmental benefit of you doing it with less pesticides, fertilizer, and those fossil fuels in there. but really it's not for the sake of the safety of the food, and it's not for the sake of the nutritional benefits of the food. So no matter where it comes from, and we really encourage you to eat local, we want to use our local producers here, that you should still be cooking it to proper temperatures, washing hands, and preparing food safely.
All right. Yet another huge myth here, because you hear someone say, oh, I got this organic, and you think, wow, this is superior to my, store brand, whatever. It's just not the case. They're all nutritionally the same.
Yep. You're not really doing a lot of changes there.
Huge. All right. Huge. We are busting some great myths today. And that'll save money too. I mean, if you've been buying organic, you can go back to buying regular. That's really cool.
Yep.
Really cool there. So are we good to move on? Have we busted all the myths? All right. Amazing. No, I had a really good time learning about some of the things that people are saying. I'm one of these people. I am one of these people. So it's really cool to hear that. You got some cool classes coming up here. So let's talk about that. November, they're coming up.
Yep. I'm really thrilled. We're doing another class with Taylorville Memorial Hospital coming up November 14th. It's called Preparing Food Under Pressure. So this is always kind of a popular one. It's talking about using these electric pressure cookers. More commonly with a brand name, they think of Instant Pot. That's probably the best one. But this one's a really fun class. I bring in about 4 or 5 different types of electric pressure cookers or Instant Pots, and we make kind of a variety of different foods. I know I've got an apples class coming up in one of my counties, and I show how quick it is to make applesauce in a pressure cooker. But it's really getting those people who bought them and they're collecting dust in the back of their closet because they have no idea how to use them. This is an excellent class for that, because we'll show you how to use them. Trust me, I've done everything where it will not explode on you with that. These are completely safe to use, and we're going to show different recipes on how to do it, as well as kind of the nutrition, that side of it. Because again, when we prepare food at home, we tend to eat a lot less fat, we eat a lot less sodium, and a lot less sugar. So using these kind of cool technology, I just did an air fryer class last night, but using this technology is kind of a great way to get you back in the kitchen. These classes are great. Again, you do some cooking. So it's always fun. You get to meet with other people who are doing it, and they give some ideas to with recipes. But yeah, this will be November 14th from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock at Taylorville Memorial Hospital. And you can register on our website, or you can always call the extension office.
All right. That's really awesome, because these pressure cookers probably pretty intimidating to look at first. And there's that. And you also don't want to make your food incorrectly and get sick from that. So that's really cool. We talked a lot about, canning and pressure food. So
pressure canning.
Pressure canning. So I mean, this is just a whole different aspect here, but it's really cool to be able to educate people on this. And like you said, it's just healthier to eat at home. So pressure cooker, I've never used one. What's that process look like?
Yeah. So the electric pressure cookers, the nice thing about them is usually when you're canning, it's a little different. Because again, a canner and a cooker are very different. With a cooker, it actually cycles a little bit. The temperature does. But I always wait to do this class in the fall, because soup is fantastic in a pressure cooker. Because again, you're not going to add a lot of salt there. So, but a lot of times if you're somebody who's so used to salt, you miss it when you cut it. These recipes, when you do something in a pressure cooker, all the flavor stays in there. It infuses those soups so well, and it's so fun. And it's a great way. That's my favorite way to eat soup now. I used to not be a broth person, that kind of thing. And now when you do soups in a pressure cooker, these electric pressure cookers or any type, you're going to add more flavor to it. So it's not being evaporated in the air like you would on a stovetop.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Right there. I totally get that. And it's just a new way to make dinner for the family. I mean, it's a little bit easier probably than a stovetop once you got it down.
Yep. And that's the nice thing is and that's for people who are very new to it. I really encourage them to come to this class, because we do walk through step by step on how to use them. I'll have a couple different brands out there too. If you want to email me before, I've had a lot of people who usually have one I don't have. So we do have quite a few, but it's great if you want to email me and let me know the brand name, and I can get a little bit more familiar with it. So if you do come in with questions, I'm a little bit more comfortable answering questions, but we'll kind of talk about the basics of using them. And we'll do probably 4 or 5 different recipes with them.
Sounds like it's going to be really fun. That's November 14th, you said?
Yep.
And where can people go to sign up or find information?
Definitely visit our website. So extension.illinois.edu/CJMM, or you can always call our office, and we are happy to register you there as well. Or you can always contact the hospital, and they can kind of get you figured out there as well.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. That's awesome. Yeah, everyone knows where they can go now. Ms. Peterson, we got a little bit of time left here, just about a minute, but you're going on a trip to Rhode Island here soon. Tell me quick about that. What are you doing?
So I'm actually headed to the National NEAFCS is what it's called. It's the National Extension Association of Family Consumer Sciences. It's great. I'm actually there a full week, and I'm on their national board. So we're going to be It's all the people who do what I do across the country. So it's really fun with a lot of professional development and kind of seeing how different programs are run across the country. So yeah.
Well, we wish you the best
Thank
of luck
you.
out in Rhode Island. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for being in here with us today.
Yes.
We busted some myths. We learned about a brand new cooking class coming up here on November 14th. They're partnering with Taylorville Memorial Hospital. It sounds like it's going to be another great event there. Cooking under pressure, baking under pressure. Is that what it is?
Preparing food under pressure.
Food
Yeah.
under pressure. Okay, and I love it there. A little play on words, under pressure,
Yeah.
with pressure cookers. So it's going to be really fun there. That was Lisa Peterson of the University of Illinois Extension Office. She is a nutrition and wellness educator. We thank her for her time. My name is Tim Zalabak. Thank you so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville. You've been listening to the WTIM Morning Show.
Your information station, WTIM.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The Biden administration has canceled the remaining 7 oil and gas leases for drilling in Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Special Counsel David Weiss will hand down an indictment of Hunter Biden by the end of the month.